So I'm about to start the West Highland Way walk. 96 miles or 154 kilometres. It's already raining and it's forecast to do so for the next 7 days, so fingers crossed for some breaks because I'm going to have to get my wet weathers out already. Currently in a little town called Mulgai, which is actually spelt Milngavie, but that's a Scottish pronunciation for you. So I guess good luck to me. Day one done and dusted. I've successfully walked 12 miles or just over 19 kilometres from Mulgai to Tyndrum. To say I'm sore would be an under-exaggeration. The last 2 miles were really hard. I've got welts on my collarbones and lower back from my pack, but I'm in pretty high spirits considering, and I've treated myself to a hostel tonight to ease myself into the track because tomorrow night is all but wild camping. Yeah, so overall went pretty well. Had rain most of the way, but fortunately managed to stay fairly dry. Thank goodness I bought waterproof boots. So I'm about to climb Conic Hill, which is that big hill behind me. Quite excited actually. It's my first proper climb on the West Highland Way. It's just me and Packy 2.0, which is at a not so light about 14 or 15 kgs. Should have amazing views over Loch Lomond. So yeah, here we go. Day 2 done and dusted. Successfully walked 15 miles from Tyndrum to Conic Bay, where I am camping for the night. Set up my tent, got myself a fire, and my dinner water's on the boil. Tonight on the menu we have a gourmet mugshot pasta, mac and cheese, my favourite. So today I walked up over Conic Hill, which was a little bit of a slog if I'm being honest with my pack on board. It was pretty hard getting up the hill, but made it to the summit despite the slightly dodgy track, and then it started to sleet when I got there. But that was the end of the bad weather, to be honest. It's been better than forecast, so I can't really complain. And tonight this is my view, so life is pretty good right now. I'm still a bit sore, but probably not quite as bad as I was yesterday, so perhaps I'm getting used to my pack. Maybe. So today was 15 miles and tomorrow I'm doing 17 miles. So I'm settling in for an early night. I have some marshmallows to toast and some books to read. Good night. So it's 7:50 AM. I just woke up. It's been freezing all night. I had to wake up and put a woolly hat and an extra jumper on, and I've had to use my coat as extra warmth because I've only got a 2-season sleeping bag and it turns out it's not warm enough. It's also raining, so it's going to be fun to take my tent down, but one must troop on. 17 miles ahead, so better get going. So I've stopped at the Bothy for lunch today. It's basically an old shepherd's hut that you can use for free. This is the inside of the Bothy, where I've stopped with some nice German fellows for lunch. I just got to Inversnaid, which is a beautiful little town with an absolutely stunning waterfall. But now I've got another 6.5 mile hike to Inveranen, I think that's how you pronounce it, to where my campsite is, on the most difficult part of the path apparently, with lots of steep up and downs over the crags. So I just fell over for the first time, slipping on some tree roots. So now I'm nice and grubby. And I'm not 100% sure where the track goes. Came from there. Think I might need to go around that boulder and navigate my way down there somehow. So they weren't lying, it is difficult. So day 2 from Selike Bay to Inveranen ended up being much harder than I expected. I'd originally anticipated 17 miles, but ended up walking 32 kilometres. I don't know what that is in miles, but it was difficult. The hardest stretch from Inversnaid was very challenging, mentally mainly, because my pack kept putting me off balance and threatening to throw me off the track when I was trying to rock climb nature's own stairs. But I made it and had a nice pub dinner, and some Austrian guys I met are letting me stay in their cabin with them instead of having to sleep in my tent in the rain, which is awesome. So pretty sore, but feeling optimistic about tomorrow. Hopefully it doesn't rain. So I'm here in my tent. I've made it to Tyndrum. Today was a fantastic day actually. Had some company for walking. I walked from Inveranen to Tyndrum, which is about 12 miles or 20 kilometres. It only took about 5 hours, and that was with, stops along the way and dawdling pace really. It was much easier than yesterday, so feeling really good actually. And off to the pub with some new friends for dinner, so should be really nice. Day 5 on the trail, feeling really good despite only having 4.5 hours sleep last night. Went out and had one too many drinks in Tyndrum last night with some new friends, but it was really fun. Weather's holding out at the moment. Fingers crossed that continues. Looks a bit unlikely though, if I'm being honest. Could rain. I don't know, we'll see. So I have to decide if I'm going to wild camp at Inveranen, or if I'm going to push on and wild camp in the middle of nowhere in a place called Bar Cottage. The difference being that I won't have access to any facilities at all. But it would make tomorrow shorter, so I'm going to play it by ear and see how I feel. starting to get pretty remote. On my way to Bar Cottage, I decided not to stay at Inverarity because I got there a bit early, so I decided to push on and go wild camping in the middle of nowhere. I'm really proud of myself at the moment. Seems so silly, but I've never felt so alone and so content. I've got no idea where I'm going. It's possibly going to get dark before I find a camping spot, and I just don't mind. This is a pretty awe-inspiring place. Day 5 and I made it. I'm really happy that I pushed myself to do the extra 10 kilometres and come and wild camp at Bar Cottage. I'm feeling really fulfilled, tired after 4.5 hours sleep last night, and I imagine it's going to be pretty cold, so I'll be going fully dressed to bed. So I'm staying the night here at Bar Cottage. It's a ruin, but conveniently there's a stream right there, so I can clarify some water from that. And it's pretty remote here, about 10 kilometres away from Ivaroran Hotel. I've seen a couple of people wild camping along the way, but not many. So it's 7:20. I've got 20 minutes until sundown, until it's completely dark. So I better get on to setting up my tent, clarifying some water and cooking some dinner. 3:30 a.m. and the wind is persisting. It started about 1 a.m. So that's really keeping me awake. Hasn't stopped raining since I got in my tent, which isn't too bad because it's not yet coming through my tent, although it is getting rather damp in here. So here's hoping that stays out. But the wind has loosened off my tent a bit. I did try and bash in the pegs as best I could with a rock, but it's obviously not come undone because I haven't blown away yet, but the whole tent is just shaking. So it's really hard to sleep. So hopefully it dies off because I could really do some rest. So I'm pretty exhausted after blowing a gale all night last night, and the rain is still going, so I'm gonna just pack up and hit the road, and hopefully get to Kinloch even and be able to have a nap there because I've booked a B&B tonight, so thank goodness for that. My tent's gonna fall down on me. Gonna have a croissant for breakfast. My boots are really wet, so thank goodness I bought these mini plastic bags, so they'll be my socks for today. The worst is yet to come, and there's a long descent into Kinloch even. Stopped at Glencoe Mountain Resort though when it was pouring down with rain for a cup of tea and a bacon bun, which was really nice. And the rain has been pretty bad today, actually, windy and raining, and you definitely notice the difference. So I should, in theory, be in about maybe 4 hours, 3 or 4 pretty amazing views from here with all the mountains around as well. Day 6 done and dusted. Walked from Bar Cottage, which is basically in the middle of Rannoch Moor, to Kinlochleven. I stopped by Glencoe Mountain Resort on the way and was told that they had a few tents blow away in the wind last night to give you an idea of just how bad the wind was. Today's walk was about 20 kilometres and went up over the Devil's Staircase, which is the highest point on the walk, at 548 metres, not 42 as I thought earlier, which was, it definitely got my heart rate up. Carrying a pack made it much more difficult than it would have been without one, but overall it was a really nice walk. It rained majority of the day, my feet were soaked through, but really nice views, lovely people along the way. Got into Kinlochleven at a very reasonable 3:30 p.m. and I'm staying in Kinloch Moor, which is a really nice little B&B owned by a really nice couple who are looking after me so well. Made it to the end of the West Highland Way. Today I walked from Kinlochleven to Fort William, feeling pretty exhausted after it rained the last few kilometres. I'm absolutely saturated, but so stoked to be here. Had the obligatory photo beside old mate, and yeah, really pleased that I made it in 7 days.